free gas, free groceries. Purchase raffle tickets at gasandgroceриesforlife.com.
All right, Pickle. It's time to roll out the top 10 Texas high school football games of the week. And this is an interesting list because, honestly, the first week of the Texas high school football playoffs can be a little thin because they are playoff games, and that's obviously great. And so the stakes couldn't be higher. You win, you go home, or win or go home, all that fun stuff.
But you got a lot of 1 versus 4s.
You got a lot of games that are going to be that I think there's clear favorites. So what I tried to balance here was to come up with a list of 10 games that are both like two good teams and going to be competitive. Because, like, for example, like Carthage tonight, tomorrow night is going to play Pittsburgh,
Tonight?
right?
It's tonight.
Oh, tonight. Mm-hmm. Carthage and Pittsburgh tonight.
You can watch that game on an FHS.
There you go. Carthage and Pittsburgh. Carthage is a really good team, but I don't know if Pittsburgh's going to hang. So I don't think it's going to be competitive. So we're trying to balance this. Let's roll it out with the top 10 Texas high school football games of the week. We'll start in the middle. 7:30 p.m. Friday night in Temple. You want to say it?
Watch live on TexanLive.com.
It is the Waxahachie Indians and the Temple Wildcats in a 6A Division I showdown. This is a real fascinating matchup of two teams that I think got a pretty tough draw in the first round of the playoffs simply because of the way that the bracket broke. Waxahachie's 8-2 on the year, and they have been rolling. They've won their last 4. Their losses on the year were a competitive loss to Duncanville and a competitive loss to DeSoto. That's it. Everything else, they've been fantastic. They've got Keith Abney out wide, who has been very strong. They've kind of run through a couple of different quarterbacks, but Jaden Bex, they're able to run the ball with him. Iverson Young as well. Roderick Hartsfield, their quarterback, has been pretty solid as well. Going up against Temple, who Temple's been a little bit more up and down this year, but I really like the way that they are playing at the moment.
They have all of the skill players. They just don't mesh sometimes, but when they do mesh, they're very dangerous.
And their defense has been playing very well. Defense has been playing excellent. Of course, I've made no bones about it. I have a crush on their linebacker, Torian York. Mikael Harrison Pilot, they have got playmakers. Can they get that offense going? Because you go back to that loss to Harker Heights, they just couldn't get the offense going. And their offense has at times gone MIA. Can the offense get going, and can that defense continue doing what they're doing against a high-powered Waxahachie attack? That's a big game. 7:30 p.m. Friday night in Robert Lee. So because of six-man football only takes 2 teams to each playoff to the playoffs,
bangers.
You get really fantastic first-round matchups, and this one is spectacular. Okay, 7:30 p.m. Friday night in Robert Lee. Westbrook, the defending 1A Division I state champs, take on Garden City. This is the start of the title defense for Westbrook. Westbrook's only loss on the year is to Garden City. Okay? They lost 46-42 back in week 5. So Garden City has their number, has beaten them before. It's hard to beat a good team twice.
Especially in the first round of the playoffs.
And this has been...
like you just saw them. You didn't forget anything.
Right. Now, here's the other thing. Garden City beat Westbrook last year in non-district play. What did all that amount to? Westbrook went home with a state championship. Thank you very much. 2 great running games in this one. John Lopez for Garden City, and then Cedric Ware and Grayson Jeffrey for Westbrook. How hard is it to beat a good team twice? We'll find out coming up here tomorrow night in Robert Lee. 7 o'clock Friday night at the Field in Pflugerville. A very treacherous first-round matchup for the 3A Division I state champ Lorena Leopards as they take on the Columbus Cardinals. This is going to be part of a quartet of outstanding District 11 versus District 12 games. This game's going to be awesome. And this is the showcase showdown, I think, of this. Yes. Lorena's title defense has been for all of the attention the offense gets, Jaden Porter, Jackson Generals, Cason Taylor, I think it's going to come down to their defense and how much they're able to slow down Columbus with Adam Schobel and James Hurd. That's the real question in this one.
This legitimately could be a regional final game.
Oh, absolutely.
Like level of play-wise.
Absolutely it could be. I think this game is fascinating in so many different ways. And we have, if you're talking about a defending state champ who is most in danger of going down, I think it's probably Lorena this week. Lorena or Garden City, I suppose. There's another one on this list too, but we'll get to them in a moment. But that is a fascinating, tasty matchup there, 7 o'clock Friday in Pflugerville. 7 o'clock tonight in Sugarland.
Live on Texan Live. I almost reared my head back like you do, but I realized my mic is attached to my head, so it's
That'll
not
still be
gonna
funny.
work.
That'll still be funny. It is the Katy Tompkins Falcons taking on the Fort Bend Ridge Point Panthers.
This is sneaky good.
This is a great match. 2 8-2 teams, and 2 teams that I think are playing really good ball right now. Tompkins started the year 2-2. They had losses to Katy Cinco Ranch and to Katy and to Cinco Ranch, including a 1-point loss to Katy. But they have gotten hot since then, and most especially their offense has gotten hot since then. They are running the ball exceptionally well with Caleb Blocker up front. He has been fantastic, and their offensive line is starting to push. But this is a real challenge for them in Fort Bend Ridgepoint. A Ridgepoint team we probably haven't talked about enough this season, but they started year 0-2. I think that's part of it. They lost to Westlake in the opener, and they lost a close game to Dickinson. They've rattled off 8 straight. And they are the district champions, and they have been excellent on both sides of the ball. I love the balance that this offense is playing with. Ezel Jolly, their running back, who's kind of a blue-chip guy, is the name to know, but I also like the sophomore quarterback, Austin Carlisle, the way that he stepped up. And their defense is nasty, giving up just 11 points per game. So what happens when these two meet on Texan Live tonight? You can find out on Texan Live tonight. That was a good pitch, right?
Tonight, live on Texan Live. Tonight.
7 o'clock Friday night in Round Rock. Do you want to do it?
Live on Bally Sports Southwest.
Nailed it. It is.
I had to remember in my brain if that was correct.
Another 6A Division I matchup as the Round Rock Dragons take on the Lake Travis Cavaliers. We're going to talk about this game at length in the picks video. But this is a fascinating first-round matchup for a number of different reasons, one of which is we don't know what Lake Travis is going to do at quarterback. Mm-hmm. Bo Edmondson is back and healthy, but he hasn't played a whole lot. Like, is there a rust factor in a do-or-die game against a good Round Rock team? Their defense, led by William Brown, Round Rock has been fantastic. Great quarterback in Mason Cochran on the Round Rock side. This game is all sorts of interesting. We'll talk more about that in the picks video coming up here in a moment. But 7 o'clock tomorrow night on Bally Sports Southwest. Round Rock and Lake Travis. We're also going to talk to Craig Way about it, too, because he's going to be on the call. 7 o'clock tonight. Boy, Robert Lee is the place to be. Griffith Stadium. As the Irion County Hornets take on the May Tigers in what is a legit, I mean this, according to the computer, coin flip in a 1A Division I state.
And the computer doesn't say that incredibly often. Not with a 6-man game.
No. This game rules. May has really done a great job reloading ever since they lost so many big time playmakers from that run to a state championship game last year. But they have reloaded in a hurry. But the problem was they lost the most important game, which was when they lost their. Is that right? Yeah. Who did they lose to?
May.
Oh shoot. They
shoot.
definitely have a loss because you wouldn't have district champion against district champion.
Yeah, no.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've got it. May lost to Jonesboro? Jonesboro. They lost to Jonesboro. May lost to Jonesboro. And so
literally last week.
As a result, that drops them to their season finale, yeah. That drops them to the second seed where they now have to play unbeaten Irion County in the first round of the playoffs. Irion County is a team we haven't talked a ton about, but their defense has been mashing fools. Now, I do not know if they have walked the same path that May has. Their best win is probably a non-district win over Spur, but this is their big test and an opportunity to knock out a state finals from a year ago. That's going on tonight in Robert Lee. 7:30 p.m. Thursday night tonight in Waller. Another fantastic matchup in 3A Division I. Is this another 11 versus 12? Mm-hmm. This is another 11 versus 12.
Yeah, I am. My eyes are on the. As good as Columbus and Lorena are, I am so interested to see this because I think Franklin looks like what we usually consider like a Gunner or a Carthage, like absolutely a murder machine. And if Hallettsville can even contest with them, at least I'll think they're slightly breakable.
It's the Hallettsville Brahmas taking on the Franklin Lions, the defending 3A Division II state champs, I should say. Hallettsville's had a weird year. They opened the year with a great win over Shiner. Then they followed that up with a great win over Flatonia. They lost a game to Fort Worth Southwest Christian. They kind of got beat pretty badly by Columbus, and then they get a real signature win week 9. They go and they beat week 10. They go and they beat your beloved Hitchcock Bulldogs, right? And then they follow that up by getting beat by Yoakum to follow the 4 spot. A really weird year, up and down for Hallettsville, but we know what they're about. They're going to play defense, and they're going to run the ball. But that defense is going to need to be on point against Franklin.
This game might be really quick.
I think it's going to be a lot of running game.
A
lot of running.
Like, I would be if they broke 10 total passes combined, I would be shocked.
No, they're going to grind it on the ground. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. The problem with playing Franklin is that their guys are so much faster than everyone else that, like, they turn they turn plays that otherwise would be like 7-yard gains into like touchdowns.
Well, yeah, because they won a 3-yard like they won a 3-3 first down, 3-3 first down, and they actually go like 11, 12 touchdowns.
It's just all gashing them. So can Hallettsville's defense stand up to the challenge? Big game tonight in Waller. 7:30 p.m. Friday night in Splendora. Let's go to 4A Division II as the Bellville Brahmas take on the West Orange Stark Mustangs. So we'll start with Bellville. Bellville was a team we were super high on, and they are 10-0, but like the dominance factor fell off after a little bit. Really, after they beat Brookshire Royal, they kind of farted around against Sealy, and that scared us a little bit. But their defense has been excellent all year long, and they've got a number of playmakers all over the field. Most notably, I love the way they run the ball with Sam Renicki. He has been great, and then they've got the Corian Hood run the ball as well. This is a really sneaky first-round matchup. Now, West Orange Stark has not had the year they want. They're 5-5 on the year, okay? And the first year for Hiawatha Hickman has been a little bit of fits and starts. But A, that defense in the playoffs is dangerous. Mm-hmm. B, I think they're starting to get healthy at the right time, and they've got some dudes who I think have an opportunity to turn it on, and they're very, very, very young. Marcus Turner at the quarterback and Raymond Mallett, the running back, are both sophomores. The other thing is, West Orange Stark in the playoffs is a different animal.
So you can say it's like something in the water changes, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a huge game tomorrow night in Splendora. 7 o'clock Friday night at Max Goldsmith Stadium in Lewisville, a 6A Division I bi-district matchup between the Allen Eagles and the Lewisville Fighting Farmers.
Our buddy Kyle Yeoman's on the call for that one.
Oh, for
NFHS.
NFHS Network. Those are, by the way, those are two different things. You can have NFHS and Texan Live, so go get both of those. But get Texan Live most.
Yep.
This is... Let me see if I can look up real quick the last time Allen lost in the first round of the playoffs, because they're in serious danger here. Lewisville is serious business.
This is a really good game.
This is a great game.
In general.
But Lewisville, their defense has taken last year they were like all offense, and then like we'll figure out the defense when it gets there. Their defense has taken a huge step forward. And by the way, their offense still humming. They got an outstanding dual threat quarterback in Ethan Terrell and another running back there in Viren Ellison. They've got other playmakers on the outside. Their top receiver is just a junior in Lamar Kirby. This team is very, very dangerous. The last time Allen lost in the first round of the playoffs was in 1999. They have not lost in the first round of the playoffs.
So
2007. 2007, they lost to Rowlett in the first round
okay.
of the playoffs, I should say. 2007. So it's been 15 years since they've lost in the first round of the playoffs. Now, Mike Hawkins is back there, and he's going to be a dude. I think losing their running back might hurt them in this game. This is big-time danger zone here for Allen, and I think that they need to start fast in this game. I think the first quarter is going to be very telling.
Yeah, they can't let the key for Allen here, in my mind, is not letting Lewisville have those explosive plays, because the Allen defensive backs are subject to letting some of those go, and if you let some of those go in the first half, that's when Lewisville's going to capitalize on that. Huge
game tomorrow night in Lewisville. And finally, 7 o'clock Friday night in Burleson, 5A Division I bi-district matchup between Burleson Centennial and Lake Belton. You could not, in a lab, create two more different football teams. Okay? Offensively, defensively, they're red and blue. Like, everything about them is opposite. Okay, Burleson Centennial runs the flex bone with Elijah Zay. They grind you down. They take the air out of the football, and they play great defense. Lake Belton wants to play make it, take it. Like, that's what they want to do. They want to get the ball to Micah Hudson on the outside. Their quarterback, who doesn't get enough credit, Connor Cruz, has been very strong. This game ultimately comes down to pace and stops. pace and stops. Is the game played at a slow pace? Because Burleson Centennial will win this game. If this game's in the 30s, Lake Belton's got to love their chances. This game is really fascinating and star power all over the field there in Burleson as Burleson Centennial takes on Lake Belton. So
I'm checking real fast, but I'm 99% sure that one's on Texan Live too.
It wasn't on the spreadsheet when I saw it, but
Probably not. It's changed.
I'm looking.
Come on.
I'm looking.
See. Yeah, live on Texan Live.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the spreadsheet I sent you earlier this week is out of date at this point. So, anyway, live on Texan Live.
7 o'clock tomorrow night on Texan Live, Burleson and Centennial and Lake Belton. So there you have it, your Texas high school football top 10 games of the week. You can watch tons of them. How many games on Texan Live?
We have 30 playoff games every single week.
30 playoff games.
Yeah, playoff football.
You can watch 30 playoff football games on Texan Live starting tonight.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.